little bit more assistance in the mid lane from their jungler.
Alright, that's just us analyzing, but this is all up to the two teams. Yet again, we are here for the WEC 2025. Let's take a look for the lower bracket between Turkiyye versus Iran.
Alright, let's get things started. Having a look already at the emblem setup. This is indeed a gold lane Benedetta going lethal ignition, so I wouldn't be surprised if Kana goes for a full damage build. Does have that petrify as well.
Thoughts coming through from the side of Sherry to Nora, but they're definitely going to actually just zone out a little bit for the mid lane. Great move comes through, but Nail on the other node. A lot of damage soaking up to the side of Uno Hana. Not a bad decision making coming in, but I think that Nail will be fine on her own. Not to worry whatsoever, just to zone out things. And even Kana having herself just a little bit in too deep.
Yeah, this Benedetta is not the best fighter for handling a Harif, unfortunately. So that means that Team Iran is actually losing lane prio on both of the side lanes and the mid lane as well. So it's going to be very difficult for them to actually make any movements happen on the map, and their scaling is not the best.
But coming up for the Mountain Shocker, missed it out, but then again they come through for Sherry's side. Still not enough though. Now they're pushing in with Kujo, joining along with the team fight. Neutralize just a little bit for now.
Alright, good movements there. The Revitalize being able to keep Sherry alive. Otherwise, that would have been a very punishing dive coming in from Iran.
Coming out right now, still Red Rapid comes through. Lishika just trying to zone out, trying to make sure that all the creeps will not be stolen, but unfortunately it's just all lost for the side of Iran.
That's a good transition too. They specifically target the EXP lane to set up for the turtle, and they're able to get the bonus of poking out Sherry. This should be a free first objective for Team Turkiyye, but we are starting to see Kana exert a bit more pressure over this Harif.
Hana just trying to pull through. Neil is not having a good time right at the top, especially the fact that even at the moment they're trying to go in, RWM put out. At the same time, Lishika trying to survive all alone. Heartguards pulls out to the Sherry side, but at the same time, what cost? Because at the end, they were able to take down. Now come through to the fight with Nora right now, surviving it all out. It drags it off, but Kana gets the first blood right here to Kujo, and moving along, the deal will shut down Nora for the side of 2 kills in the hands of Iran.
Here we can already see the value of the Benedetta in the side lane, being able to rotate and join fights a lot more easily compared to other heroes. I like the invade. They actually did manage to steal the purple buff away from Sherry, but hold on.
Woo! Sherry with the last hit takes down Zendaya. One more. Uno Hana just tried to survive it out, but unfortunately, it's going to be a good win for Iran.
I have to say, this is probably one of the most effective uses of Angela that we've seen the entire tournament so far, being able to save people on a tiny sliver of HP and actually enabling earlier rotations. We said on paper that Nirvana might have difficulty getting lane prio against Zendaya because of the hero matchup, but looks like they've been able to handle that thanks to Sherry's intervention. They're being very active on the map right now, and that's exactly what Team Iran needs to be doing.
A lot of invasive move coming on from Turkey, and now it comes back to bite them because of how Iran was able to back it up to their side. And this is where overextension will be punished, and Turkey needs to be a little bit disciplined more. Yes, they did do a lot of pressure just now, but Iran finally falls through and had a momentum. But at the same time, Kana is not doing well at their own lane, but not to worry, Nirvana is just on the lookout. But at the same time, right here, goes in for the tectonic charge with the Urgent Rapid, just holding up. Neil surviving it all with the hard guard been put out. Neil has no worry, but RWM has already been put out. Neil will not be able to survive it all. Unona takes her down immediately. Lishika tried to go all out with the AOG, but it will not do anything as one kill is enough for Turkey to get it.
It sure did take quite a while though, that hard guard keeping Nil topped up, but once again, Turkey aiming for the turtle timing.
And comes in along with the air turn rampage. Kana trying to go all out to Nora, but at the same time, zoning comes through with Kujo as well. Lishika will be able to take down Nora immediately. Now pushing on right now. Sherry having a little bit fun right here with Zendaya shutting her down, but at the same time, it's already a good trade coming along by Iran with Turkey.
Unohana finding the right target there, specifically the enemy jungle. Unfortunately, Kujo did take quite a bit of poke previously, so not able to muscle their way through the turtle, since the rest of the frontliners from Iran are still alive. They're going to continue zoning them out. By the time they restart the turtle, Sherry will actually be able to rejoin the fray. Does Iran actually still want to contest this or not?
See, A lot of zoning coming in from Nora's side. Be sure that they don't come through. Kujo will be able to get the turtle because of such a control comes in from Turkiyye. Iran on the other note, losing Sherry kind of put them a little bit step back, but it's okay. They might be able to breathe just a little bit. Unohana, a lot of pressure to Neil yet again. A lot of focus comes into EXP.
Now, I think we have to highlight a little bit about the win conditions here, especially for Team Iran. They are playing double fight their side lane with an Angela mid. This means that a lot of their power spike is in the mid game. The ideal is to get ahead by the 10-minute mark.
No one to be caught up by the AOG, but Mount Sure comes through right here. Nora had to pull away with the tectonic charge just to survive it out. But we can actually see that the whole entire fallbacks had to be pulled away for neutralization.
I kind of feel like Nora could have actually committed for that, used the tectonic charge aggressively instead, because the rest of her team was quite nearby.
But RWM being put out right here. Lishika trying to go all those out, but Zaman Force comes through right here. Lishika tries to survive it out, but can he do it with the hard back comes through? Lishika still have managed to survive, but will be taken out by Mirko. Now moving along, go for the Infinite Pursuit. Never know, will be taken out by Zandaya. Now moving along, trying to move it up, but Turkey just doing so much damage until Iran could not do anything. Left it off with the tectonic charge. Kana comes through with the Mieko shutting down. Now 1, 2, 3 teams. No, make it a 4 players just shut down, wiped out in the hands of Turkey.
I like the idea of Team Iran to try and make use of the grab on top of Lisichka to dive onto Mieko instead, but it took them way too long and too many resources to do so, which scattered their forces. Only with Kana coming in all the way from the other side of the map were they finally able to take down this Harif, and by then it was a 1-for-4 trade.
Coming off for a fight again. Tectonic charge comes through. Monster Shocker try to pull into Nora's side. Zendaya will be taken out by Kana. First of all, enough damage, but now they're chasing for Nora as well. They want to make sure they can be able to do so. Zaman Force be put up on Mieko, but it will not stop any movement coming from Iran.
All right, there we go. That's what Team Iran is looking for. Those off-tempo plays. Turkiyye was not expecting a fight there, but the AOG right into the tri-bush got an excellent choke point. We can see that Kana is actually being quite annoying here on this Benedetta, now unstoppable.
Unstoppable indeed. All the slash comes through. Kujo shuts down immediately. Great win comes through with Jungler been wiped out by Team Iran. Now this turtle is going to be a free kill for the side of Iran.
They'll be able to scare it easily. Now Unohana might get punished a little bit. Actually gets stunned in. This glue gonna jump back in actually.
Grab straight away to Neil, but is it going to be a condition that is going to be good? RWM been put out by Zendaya. At the same time, Neil just grabbing it through and through. But at the same time, it's going to give an opportunity for Rico to just shut her down immediately.
We're seeing a lot of action right now. It didn't happen on screen, but Mieko actually won a 1v1 against Kana as well. Picked the Benedetta off before the fight even started. So we can see that Mieko doing good on this Hari.
Hot Guard immediately putting out to Sherry, making sure that nobody actually gets away easily. But again, they were trying to invade into the side of Team Iran. A lot of back and forth comes through from these two teams.
And now Team Turkiyye, they're aware that Mieko is going to be their win condition. This Harif doing a very good job so far. And it does come down to that gold lane duel. And whether or not Kana is able to find the angles when it comes down to the team fights. We're at the 8-minute, nearly 9-minute mark. Gold lead still just a little under 3k in favor of Turkiyye, which is definitely a deficit that you can make up on. The Team Iran will need to make that happen sooner than later.
The fact that they're just trying to figure out which way can they actually pull through. A little bit of bullying can be done a little so that they can actually have that turn things around for the side of Team Iran. Turkiyye, so far, they had a really good control from the start, but now Iran is finding answers from one another. Putting out the Urchin Rampage, Lisika could not move, could not find a way, had to use the AOG just to run.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine to do that there. Better to keep yourself alive, especially since the Lord is going to be up in another 15 seconds or so. Turkiyye does have the slightly better late game scaling overall, and that's basically why I said Iran needed to be the ones making use of the mid-game power spike. Since if they're not in the lead, the later the game goes, the harder it's going to be for them to keep up. So with Kana around, there is always going to be a win condition as long as this Benedetta is able to find the cat onto the Hari.
Already moving into the Lord Dance right here by Team Turkiyye. Iran, unfortunately, was a little bit too late, but they're moving on right here to the side of Neil. Neil had to pull away straight away before they became casualty, but Kujo does not allow it. Hardguard had to be put out to Neil to survive it out, but at the same time, Kana making a great decision, but Earthen Rapid be put out. They deny it. RWM put it out as well so that they cannot move away. AWG trying to put it out. Can they actually survive? They make it sure that they will be able to survive. Nora will be taken out by Kana immediately, but at the same time, they fight for Mieko by Sherry itself, and now leaving only Unohana to fend for herself. 3 players in the hands of Iran.
A total reversal from Team Iran, and now Unohana, the only one left, trying to buy as much time as possible, and honestly doing a great job of it. But Heart Guard will be used to get the Angela away. Turkey made a mistake. They stayed for too long. They underestimated the healing coming out of this Angela. But Unohana will finally fall as the Lord shoves down the bot lane.
Good job coming in from Iran. Great zoning from Una to survive it out. 4 players just try to ram her to make sure that she will be not taken down that fight easily. But at the same time, Iran still have it in their bag, because the fact is they were able to turn things around for themselves. Now Turkey, even though they got the lot, now they still need to make sure that push comes through so that they can make sure that Iran loses a lot of the defense. Here on out, Klishika will be able to move away very quickly. No casualty.
I feel like at this point, multiple members of Iran have to have Oracle, because that healing is actually adding up to a lot more than you would ordinarily expect. And Team Turkiyye is actually running into some issues where, even though they have really good scaling damage, the consistency of it is not enough to actually whittle down their opponents. And so, the later the game goes, the more my initial predictions may actually fall incorrectly. No oracles at all, simply the flask alone from Nirvana actually keeping Team Iran topped up.
Being very, very risky from the side of Iran, but then again, Kujo, little bit of overextension. Kana comes in for the diving, as well as with the help of that hard guard. But here on out, because of their invasiveness, they might actually fall down. And right now, Nirvana just trying to secure to survive it out will not be allowed at all, giving Turkiyye that 2 kills for themselves.
That was definitely a bit too greedy there. Kana saw what could have been an easy kill on Kujo, but neglected to think about where the rest of Team Turkiyye would be on the map. Lisichka was not really having a vision on anyone, though they will at least trade her life for the bottom tier 2.
And even then, we do see that a little bit of steal comes in from the side of Team Iran. They will try to make sure they have the objective, the minor objective that they needed, so that they can control the movement of the minions. And this is what we want to see, the diversion that they want to have, as well as the macro, as well as the micro skills we needed into the hands of Team Iran. So far, they have been backing off from the side of Team Turkey, even though they lost a couple of life. Now, Lord is coming in right here, and there's trying to set things up with Lisica, try to make it through, making sure that he can spot out any movement or even any ambush that will be put out by Team Turkiyye.
I think setting up for this, Team Turkiyye have to play a little bit more disciplined. They're well aware of how tanky Hard Guard makes Team Iran at this point. It might be good to try and play a slower fight, wait until the duration runs out.
Yeah, with AOD going right to the mid, as well as Mieko going all out to push out to Lishika. Can they make it through it? They go with a tectonic charge, gets 2 players, but at the same time, Lishika will be the one, the victim, to be fall down. But at the same time, they push it to Kana! Will be shut down by Kujo, and now Neil trying to survive it out, but unfortunately, Infinite Pursuit, just to be able to survive, will not be able to do so, as Kujo shuts down Neil with 3 pieces in the hands of Turkiyye.
That was excellently played right there from Team Turkiyye, specifically targeting Sherry first to force the Heart Guard out onto the Yisun Shin, but that's not actually the target it gets the maximum value from. You want the Angela on the Benedetta, or even the Phobius in this case, since they will be able to keep sustaining and walking in the front line. Since Sherry had to play it safe and stand behind, it meant that Team Turkiyye basically didn't have to contend with Heart Guard at all throughout that entire battle, and then were able to slowly dismantle Team Iran one by one. I gotta give a shout out especially to Zendaya, popping that RWM perfectly at the edge of the dash from Kana, locking her in place just long enough for Kujo's burst to come true.
Yeah, exactly. The momentum, how they control, how Kana comes in. They want to make sure that they know the positioning of what Iran's about to do. And now, pushing on straight to the bottom turret that has been already dropped down. Looking for the top as well. RWM being picked up. Moving on with the tectonic charge. Putting on a direct reach as well. They're pushing in to survive, but Hargot put up Alishika. Can they survive that? Kana comes in with the slash, but then it's not going to be enough damage. Now they will be punishing to the side of Team Iran as they lost Neil. And moving on with the Zaman force by Mieko. Mieko, overextension can be expected to be side of Nirvana, shutting him down. But at the same time, right here. Team Turkey, they know that lot of damage already been done as they already stolen Neil as well as Kana.
So far, we're seeing good discipline from Team Turkey. They're basically doing what I said they needed to. Wait until the heart guard runs out to recommit onto the team fight. It's just unfortunate that Mieko walked a little bit too far forward and got punished for it. Otherwise, this is a guaranteed game win. But for now, Iran should be able to hold on to the base. They will have to deal with having no inhibitors left, though.
Back off for discipline-wise, the respect that is needed to be given. They cannot take any risk. Waiting off for Mieko as they know that pretty much all of the damage they are going to focus more by Mieko herself. And this is what Team Turkey is doing. Having that much time can actually set up a really good team fight against Team Iran. But the question is, Team Iran, with a little breather that has been given by Turkey, can they actually put out a really good defense for their own base?
I think their defensive capabilities are not too bad, especially since Kana's Electo final blow should be able to get wave clear in quite efficiently. But we know that the later the game goes, the more the scaling is going to kick in for Team Turkey. Even though the goal lead is not all that big as of right now, a lot of heroes on the side of Team Iran are going to start falling off in overall utility. Especially this Phoveus is just no longer as tanky as he needs to be.
Ooh, a little bit too late with that Electro Blow, but at the same time right here, it might actually come to bite it off. Kujo comes in with the tectonic charge by the side, takes down Nirvana immediately. Kana all by herself will be shut down, and this is going to open even more doors for Turkey. Yay!
That was beautifully done by Kujo, baiting out the Electro final blow and the Petrify. Even the Heart Guard committed meant that two members of Iran were now completely out of position for basically nothing.
Summon Force would put out Sherry in the loose, but at the same time managed to back off. But at the same time right here, Tectonic Charge come through with the Lichika, trying to survive it out, pushing on straight away. AOG had to be pulled out for the survival, but Neil all alone to defend for the frosting side will be shut down by Kujo. Now Lichika trying to fend for the crystal. Can they do so with the Cherry as well on the side? Let the Rapid be put out, trying to do some damage right here, making sure that they will still survive it out. And Turkey somehow, Mount Shocker put out. Is it going to be enough damage? Nope, not at all. Turkey backs off as quickly as possible.
But Mieko keeps making this mistake of diving way too far forward. Again, that was a guaranteed base push if Team Turkey had their gold laner. But for some reason, the Harith just decided to Zaman Force all the way into the other side of the base, where the rest of her team was not close enough to be able to support her. Because of that, Turkey has to back off. They have to go for the Lord instead, and that gives Iran time to regroup. They still have to contend with the waves pushing into the base, but they do have an Angela to be able to handle that at least.
With Angela still holding off their positioning. They know for a fact that they just have to play with time, but it comes in with the Tectonic Charge. AOG comes through, but unfortunately losing a lot of lifeline. Lishika had to back away. Haga comes in with the Electro Blast comes through. Can they actually manage to do a damage? No, they actually have a little bit of struggle. They had to pull away with the RW. Milko takes down Sherry immediately now, leaving one more player to be taken out by Kujo himself with Neil. Now they're pushing it straight away to Lishika as well as Nirvana. Kujo just looking from the sideline. They know for a fact that they can just take down immediately. Enter Rapid to shut down Lishika immediately. This is a crystal for Turkey to get the first win.
And a triple kill from Kujo on the Suyo jungle.